Blog Talk Radio.
Archangels, ghosts, and Bigfoot. Oh my. It's just another night for Supernatural Girlz. Real stories, real answers to life's biggest supernatural mysteries. And now for another exciting interview with paranormal experts from this world and others. Psychic medium Helene Olsen and paranormal researcher Patricia Baker. Here are Supernatural Girlz.
Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to listening to our premiere show now named Supernatural Girlz. We are so delighted that there are so many people listening tonight. We are featuring a fabulous guest, Karen Anderson, author of the book Hear All Creatures, and she's an amazing animal communicator. I am Helene Olsen. I am co-hosting this show with my fabulous partner in crime, Patricia Baker. Welcome, Patricia.
Thank you, Helene. It is such a thrill to be here. And we do have a lot of listeners tonight. I'm not surprised because we love our animals, don't we? We really do.
Oh.
And I'm just so excited to hear from Karen and everything she has to teach us about how to listen to our animal friends on the planet.
It's true, and people can call in with their questions. I do not believe that Karen is taking specific readings of people's loved pets, but she's giving us a lot of information on how we can communicate with our pets, and also we'll be happy to take any topical questions that people have, and people can go ahead and call in at 646-478-0828, and I'll say that again, 646-478-0828. And we'll be happy to talk to you. I think that tonight, Patricia, you have a little bit of paranormal news, huh?
I do, and it's about animals, believe it or not. It's about
believe it or not.
dolphins. I mean, these dolphins, now this is kind of a double-edged sword here. I mean, I love dolphins. I know you love dolphins, and we certainly respect their high intelligence. And there's a story that just came out about these Ukrainian attack dolphins, which are now on the loose and looking for love. So apparently, and this is just a wild story, these dolphins have been trained, I guess, to go after swimmers who are attempting to attach mines and other nefarious objects to ships. But 3 of them just took off. So, of course, in the news, they've sensationalized it. These killer dolphins are on the loose. But, I think the bottom line is they escaped, and I say good. I say good.
I think they quit their job.
Pardon me?
I think they quit their job, Patricia.
I think they said, yeah, we're done. And they took off to enjoy their lives in the sea. I hope they never return to the place where they were trained to do these other things. I think, hey, we want to do these things as people. I don't see why we should involve animals in this. I mean, this is our own doing with some of these things. And of course, dolphins are trainable. They're highly intelligent. But I say I'm glad. I'm glad they escaped from the Ukrainian naval training base. And I hope they keep going and enjoy their lives and stay away from us people,
I hear you, Patricia, but I'm sure they put countless hours into this training program to help save people and ships, and I'm sure they're pretty devastated about it. And I'm with you on the dolphins. If they don't want to work, it's time for them to go back to their natural habitat,
No, I know. It's just really time for us to realize how important they are as a species on the planet and not just train them for our own purposes. I just think that's not so great. So anyways, my personal opinion, for what it's worth, I'm sure some people may agree out there in the chat room and the people listening tonight. But there's just lots of things going on with animals. We've had people on the show talking about Bigfoot over and over again. It's one of our most favorite topics for the audience, and I'd love to hear what Karen thinks about that. And just all kinds of things from our past about animals teaching us and what they have to teach us. I remember Slow Turtle, who was the head medicine man for the Northeast, and he used to say, if you want to know what's going to happen in the world today, watch the animals. You watch the animals will tell you exactly what's going to happen. They know. And he reiterated a story many years ago to me about Jimmy Carter in a rowboat with the Secret Service, and all of a sudden this rabbit jumped from the shore, swam to the rowboat, and started attacking it. And they couldn't believe that they were under attack by a rabbit, but they were.
That's phenomenal. Wow.
And then right after that, what happened was the Ayatollah Khomeini rose up, took hostages, and again, here was this small country that we didn't think was going to do what they did. But Slow Turtle said to me, all the elders knew this was going to happen. And how did we know? Because when we saw that rabbit jump into the water and go after that boat, we knew what it was trying to tell us. So animals know, and that was just a very important lesson for me that I learned from Slow Turtle, who has since passed. But it was just an amazing story. And again, all the shark attacks had happened right before 9/11. Same kind of warning that was coming from animals saying that this is going to happen. And a lot of people that were watching the animals, again, a lot of Native people, they knew what the message was.
It's so true.
It is. And then just the other day, I had an experience with a deer that was phenomenal.
That was amazing. Share that. It was amazing.
I got to share this with everybody because it was very unusual. Well, I was driving, as you know, to my all-important hair appointment in town. And as I'm driving down the road, I suddenly see something that's right outside my passenger side window of my car. So I look over, and there is a deer, and it's running alongside my car. And the face of this beautiful deer was 2 inches from the passenger window. I could not believe what I was seeing. I mean, as you know, usually deer, they just run in front of your car, and it's just a horrible experience. You try to avoid them, etc. You don't want to hurt them. But this deer was running right alongside my car, and I mean, I was just that close to her face. It was amazing. It's an amazing experience. So again,
what was the feeling you got from that?
I was just in shock. I was like, oh my goodness, and then I felt blessed that a deer didn't run in front of my car, number one. But number two, I just felt like there has to be, again, as Slow Turtle had taught me, there has to be another message to this, because this is an unusual experience, unusual animal behavior, and it's up close and personal. And a deer is a symbol of gentleness. So I know that there's a bigger piece in this, and I urge everybody who has these types of experiences to look deeper. This was amazing. It's going to stay with me forever, and I'm going to be looking for the deeper meaning of it all. So That was my experience. I know you've had experiences with animals when you talk to people who have passed, and sometimes their animals are right there with them.
Well, that's true, but more importantly, I think that when I'm doing my free energy circle and we sort of go up into higher dimensions to connect with that energy, what I often see is an enormous number of, angels, guides, and, superior beings, however you want to phrase it. But every single time I do that circle, animals come over the circle, and they're energetic, but they're really there. The feeling I get from it is they're there to show us how determined they are, how focused they are on survival and doing the right thing. And usually we see eagles, owls, we've seen Pegasus or flying horses, and often birds and especially doves. I mean, it's all about peace. It's all about continuing in determination on this planet, and it's amazing the feeling those animals give me when I see them in my third eye,
It must be. It must be. I mean, there's a lot of power and there's a lot of healing in that, I'm sure, for so many people. And, I often think, too, about the Twilight Zone, the original Twilight Zone, and I know you did everything in your power to avoid watching the Twilight Zone when you were a child, right, Helene?
Not
one of your
I was
favorite
so
shows.
terrified. I mean, there was one or two shows that I caught by accident because my mom loved it so much, and I'll tell you, it affected me for years. And I think that part of the reason why I was so terrified of that was because my system knew something that I didn't want to know at that time, you know?
Yes, I'm sure you're right. Well, there was an old Twilight Zone about a man and his dog who died while they were out hunting, and he walked with his dog to the gates of what he thought was heaven, and they said, well, you can come in, this is heaven, but you can't take your dog. And he wouldn't go. He said, well, if you're not taking my dog, I'm not coming through those gates. That's it. So he just kept walking.
Saw that. My husband saw that one recently.
Yes, it's a great one. And so he kept on walking and came to another set of gates, and that's when he found out that his dog was welcomed with him, and that was the true heaven. And it's a beautiful story of loyalty and love between a man and his dog. I'll never forget that either. Very profound experience with watching the old Twilight Zone, so I highly recommend that one. It's worth seeing again.
Well, I can appreciate the old Twilight Zones now because they had no gore. They only had sort of a spiritual message, and so I get it now, Patricia. I really do.
I know you do. I know you do. I teach you a lot about it, but I know you get it. I know you do. But just, going back to animals that have crossed over, too, there's just so many stories where people have felt their pets that have crossed over have come back to visit them, and they feel cats or dogs brushing up against their legs, and this is fascinating. So I really want to hear from Karen about all of this and see what she has to say, because I know she also speaks with pets that have passed. I'd like to know what it's like for them.
Awesome.
Is it the same
we got lots of questions
people?
about that. Yeah, I'm not an animal communicator at all. I don't pretend that that's one of my strong suits, but I have talked to several animals over the years, and actually my beloved favorite pet actually was in the house for a while after he passed, and I saw him and talked with him and so forth. And so it is a remarkable thing. The spirit of animals is just incredibly made of unconditional love,
It is. They teach us so much about love, real love. Mm-hmm. It's fabulous.
Well, they are. The call-in number is 646-478-0828. And we are going to welcome our wonderful guest, Karen Anderson. Good evening, Karen. You're live on the air. How are you tonight?
Well, hello, Helene and Patricia. It's great to talk to you. Thanks for having me on the show.
Oh, it's our pleasure.
Spending time. Yeah. I love the cover.
It's very exciting. It's very exciting to talk about all the animals. They're all around us all the time. They never leave, especially when they have departed. Their energy is always with us. Well, they wouldn't want to be anywhere else. Why would they want to be anywhere else but with us?
That's true. And maybe you could tell us a little bit about your book, Hear All Creatures, and where people can find that.
Well, right now, I'm the only one that has them. If you try to order them online, someone's going to charge you like $800 in American money. So,
oh, no.
Yeah, don't do that. I've got them here. I can personalize them. They're $14.95 plus shipping, and the book will share in vivid detail how I learned to understand the animals, starting at the very beginning when I was very much reluctant and a skeptic and had no clue what I was doing, and how I was able to understand those messages and do what is a little bit of translation, because when animals talk to me, sometimes it isn't always the way a human would talk. So there's a little bit of a translation that takes place. So it has lots of actual sessions. It has all kinds of wonderful stories about animals that are here, animals who have passed, and some of my happiest and saddest moments all wrapped up into a nice little book.
Now, when did you start?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Helene. I wanted the people to understand that you've been doing this, Karen, for some time now, at least 10 years?
Yes. I'm going on 11, or I'm going on 11, I think. At least as a professional animal communicator, when I actually kind of hung up the tile, so to speak, and started working professionally. But yeah, about 11 years now.
And I bet you can't imagine yourself doing anything else at this point.
No, I have the best job in the world. I get to talk to animals all day.
That is the best job in the world. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And truly, animal lovers are the best people in the world. So I get the best of both. I get to work with the animals, and then there are humans who love them. And there are no better people on the planet than those who love animals. I am so much a believer that I have the best clients in the world, the best people come to me and let me check in with their animals, and I'm just honored.
Now does your work revolve around individuals, or actually going to stables, or what is the bulk of your clients?
Well, the majority of the work that I do is over the phone, just like how we're talking right now. And I work generally off of a picture. I like to have a picture because I'm a lazy animal communicator. And having a photograph is like having that animal's cell number. I can just dial them up a lot quicker, faster than I can if I don't have the picture. I have to work a little harder if I don't have a photo. But anyway, I like to see who I'm talking to. I like to see their cute little faces, and it's the way I learned how to connect with them through a photo, and it's also how I teach others how to connect is through a photo. So it's just something I like to do, and I'm stuck in my ways, so I just keep doing it.
Now, what kind of animals do you have as pets?
It's easier to say what kind of animals I don't have. That would be a much shorter topic for discussion. Well, I've had just about everything over time, and now I've kind of whittled it down to horses, cats, dogs, and fish. And that's the short list.
And that's all in the plural, I noticed. So it's all more than one horse, more than one dog, more than one cat.
Yes, I will just say I have more than 3. That's my answer, and I'm sticking to it.
Okay. Now, when you speak to someone's pet and you have their photograph in front of you, do you have to do anything else that's special in order to tune into that animal? Do you have any particular meditation you do or breathing you do, or what's the technique that you use?
Well, my technique is top secret, but I'm going to share with you tonight for your listeners for the premiere show of Supernatural Girls Radio.
Oh, boy, we're breaking news.
It is top secret. No, I'm just kidding. I share with whoever wants to learn, and I'm here for those who want to expand their horizons, raise their vibration, and also learn how to communicate. I haven't taught classes in a long time, but that's okay. I'm happy to share with you. It doesn't take anything other than practice, and the key to practicing is you begin with animals that you are not familiar with. That's the big top secret ingredient right there, because an animal that you are not familiar with is one that you will more likely trust the information that you get from them, where if it's an animal that you're very familiar with and you know their likes, their dislikes, what they do, what they don't do, where they sleep, where they don't sleep, what they eat, what they don't eat, you're less likely to acknowledge that information because you think that it's your imagination or it's just a thought already in your mind because you already know them.
So you tend to dismiss that stuff.
That's interesting, Karen, because that's what I teach people about tarot cards, too, that you're better off practicing on your friends' friends who you don't know than you are practicing on your friends. Yeah. It is a
very powerful left brain that wants to get in there, and the ego side of our brain wants to go in and categorize everything and put it all into nice, neat, little, perfect places. And when you communicate with animals or when you're working with energy, it doesn't fit into a nice little compartment. Energy is free-flowing. Energy has no obstacles. Time, distance, it doesn't matter. So we have to kind of shush our left brain and open up our right brain and say, okay, I'm going to let my right brain take over, because normally to get us through our day in this society, in the world that we live in, we need the left brain to guide us. That's how we've been raised as a society, is to be very left brain. We get up, we do certain things, we go to work, we go to school, we take care of family and pay bills. That's very left brain. So it's years and years of programming that we have to quiet down. And when you quiet down your left brain and you learn to focus, you can then hear the messages or see the messages or feel the messages, because they send messages in many different ways. Animals do.
Now, do you see the images, do they come to you in picture form, or do you actually hear words? I mean, do they actually talk to you? How do you get your information?
Well, when I first started to communicate with animals, I could only see things, but I would see I had to have my eyes closed, and I had to have my head tilted to like a 45-degree angle to the left, and I had to put my right hand up in the air, and I had to stand on one foot. Everything had to be just so. And then I realized that I didn't have to do all those crazy things. If I just relaxed, it would happen on its own. And I began to hear their messages, hear what they were saying. So I went from seeing, so clairvoyance, to hearing, clairaudience, to feeling, which is clairsentience. There's some other clairs in there too, and I get those too, especially the ones where they want to send me the flavor of something, but not when it's like a mouse or something like that. I don't want that. Don't want to taste that.
But it's okay if they give you the flavor of a donut, right?
Yes, and yeah, they are very much into their favorite things, which is food themselves. That's their favorite topic themselves. What they like. That's what they want to talk about. They talk about their humans. I get the dirt. They tell me everything.
Yeah, they probably squeal on their owners big time.
Well, I just want to remind people that they can call in at 646-478-0828, and we will be taking some calls for Karen after the break. But I wanted to ask you, Karen, I do talk to departed loved ones, humans for people, and I don't get animals very often. And when I do, it's almost as though that human spirit is showing me the picture of a beloved animal rather than the animal being there with them in heaven, if you want to put it that way. So what is your thought about departed animals? Do they stay with their humans in heaven, or do they go to their own heaven?
Well, I'm a firm believer that all pets go to heaven, all animals go to heaven, or I'm not going. And I know that mine are there waiting for me. And heaven is really all around us. If you work with energies and departed human loved ones, they're around us. Their energy is near. They are always guiding us.
So would you say that they're on another frequency than humans are?
Yes, I would say they're on another frequency. And when I have a session, I never know who's going to show up. So you may schedule a session to talk to, let's say, a cat or a dog or your horse or bird or whatever you have, and then you never know who's going to show up for dinner. It's like, oh my gosh, I have, your grandmother, your grandfather, and your uncle are also showing up. So they know that I can hear their messages. So sometimes I have to get one of those little take a number things. Mm-hmm. They hear, take a number.
And stand in line so that they can all give you their messages. Well, that's interesting. So that you end up actually speaking to people that have crossed over, not just pets that have crossed over.
That's right. And my all-time favorite, John Edward, is I watched every single episode. And, oh, my gosh, I just so wanted to be able to do what he did. And it didn't happen. And then, boom, one day it happened. And I was just jumping for joy. I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't trying, and I write about it in my book about how I got some unexpected visitors showing up one day, and I had no idea that they were going to be there. But yes, it's very much like having the whole family. The departed human loved ones come through with departed animal loved ones. They come through as a family group, a soul group, however you want to describe that. But they will all be there, and I see them shoulder to shoulder or similar to that. It's like they line up for me. That's how I see them.
So if you wanted to just talk to human spirit or just animal spirit, do you think you could switch your frequency, or you just accept it all as one thing?
Oh no, I pick and choose who I'll talk to. They have to follow my rules. It's my way or the highway. And I have a little chat with the energies and the loved ones before we get started, and I just have them follow my rules, and usually they will, because they know that I will get their messages through much quicker if they do things my way.
Now, have you ever spoken to a dog or a cat that was a witness to some type of a crime and could give you information on what exactly happened?
Yes, actually, I have worked with law enforcement on several cases that have involved either an animal being the only witness, and sometimes the animal had already transitioned, or since the incident occurred, the animal transitioned, and so I would contact the energy of that deceased animal and get information from them. They can tell me everything from a description, physical description. They can show me what happened, like a mini movie. Kind of hit the rewind button and play a mini movie for me. They're right on top of stuff. They know exactly what's going on, and they're much better eyewitnesses than most humans are.
I would think they would be. Now, but could you give us an example? I mean, without names, obviously, but can you give us an example of an animal that communicated information that you were able to hand over to the police and maybe resulted in somebody being arrested for the crime or some kind of resolution to that crime?
Yeah, absolutely. There's one particular case that stands out among many where I was connecting with a cat who was in the apartment when their human was basically attacked and later died from his injuries. And the cat, who was still alive at the time, was able to tell me in vivid detail not only what happened, but how many people were involved, what they were wearing, what they looked like, and he even gave me the initials of the prime suspect. And that was, I didn't know any of this before I started the sessions. This is all what came to me during the session. And turned out that individual was on the suspect list. And so that was confirmed. The law enforcement had their suspicions of who was involved, and then I later confirmed it because of what the cat told me.
That's great.
That's amazing. Wow.
Yeah, that cat was actually able to participate in solving that. And yes, that's incredible that the police were actually interested in hearing what you had to say. Did you have any problem convincing them that you had real information, or how did that all happen?
Of course I did. As a former deputy sheriff myself, I will hold up my right hand and swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God. But they listened. I got their attention. When I gave them those initials, then they kind of stopped with the eye rolling and the deep sighs, and And if you think about it, who knows anyone in law enforcement that isn't intuitive? Cops rely on their intuition all the time, but they won't call it intuition. They'll call it gut feeling. It has to be a tough guy word, so they call it a gut feeling. It's intuition. That's any good cop,
Absolutely.
any good cop or detective. They better be using that.
So after you
Wow.
convinced them you had some real information, then they sat down with you and you were able to pass this on. And that's quite an accomplishment right there, being able to get law enforcement to pay attention to the information received from the animals.
I will say that they are a healthy skeptic beforehand and very much a believer afterwards. And that's fine, because I started out a skeptic too. And just, how can this work? It sounds crazy. I mean, it sounds crazy. But when you have completed as many sessions as I have, it becomes an everyday occurrence, and it's not so crazy anymore. And it's quite astounding, the information and the detail that will come through during a session. I mean, they even told me where when a departed human has hidden something in the house that was valuable or a keepsake, they can tell me where that is. I mean, I've solved all kinds of. I've done missing persons. A couple of dogs went with their human to the beach, and their human disappeared, and so I was contacted to do a missing persons and find out what happened to their human, and I got all kinds of information.
Well, do tell. What did they tell you? Where did their humans go?
Well, there was an abduction in the parking lot, and I got the vehicle description and at least a partial plate. And it turned out that I shared with law enforcement that there were 2 other female victims that were involved, and they later shared with me that there were 3 missing women in the same area within 2 weeks of each other.
So what happened? What was the end result with that? Did they recover these people, or
well,
what
I was able to tell them where the remains were of one of the victims, and the other 2 they haven't been able to find. I know where they are in my mind. I have it in my mind's eye of where they are, but they haven't been able to find the remains. But the suspect is still missing. They haven't found the suspect yet.
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
That's fascinating information. It really is. But
it's incredible.
We have a lot of callers on the line. Oh, sorry.
And if you think about the things that get my attention are like, if you remember what happened at the San Francisco Zoo, there was a tiger, Tatiana, that got out of her enclosure, and she mauled a couple of the people that were outside the enclosure, and then she was later, they dispatched her, unfortunately, but she told me what happened. So I got to hear her side of it, and didn't quite match up with the human side.
What did she say happened?
They were very much taunting, teasing, trying to get a reaction out of the big cats. And boy, did they get a reaction.
Yeah, so it's a shame that it cost the life of this animal, though. That's really too bad.
I know. That's very sad.
Really bad. Now, I know we really need to take a break, don't we, Helene? We've gotten so tied up here with all this exciting stuff.
It's just fascinating information, Karen. And can you give the name of your website right now?
I would love to. You can find me at animalcommunicating.com or KarenAnderson.net. I'll get you to the same place. And I have a brand new website, so please go check it out. It doesn't work. All the links don't work yet, but I'm slowly working on it.
Oh, we know how that goes.
We should do. But anybody who wants to call in now, the number is 646-478-0828. We have a lot of callers on the line, and right now we're going to ask you to stay tuned through our break, and we'll be right back in just a few moments.
Sometimes life can be a challenge, Would you like insight and guidance to help you make the best choices right now? Contact Helene at angelslighthouse.com to make your personal appointment for a psychic reading or energy alignment. Helene is a direct channel to the angelic realm and is remarkably capable of connecting to the living as well as to your loved ones on the other side. Helene is available to clients all over the world via phone or Skype, and it's simple to set up a group reading anywhere. Visit angelslighthouse.com, where you'll find an easy way to schedule right online. And while you're there, sign up for the Angels Lighthouse newsletter and receive information on all the free energy circles, giveaways, and jewelry with a message. Visit angelslighthouse.com and contact Helene today.
Your property tax bill. Have you seen it lately? It's frightening. Your property taxes are going up while your home value is going down. It's time to fight back and win. For the real truth about the property tax system, get attorney Pat Quintilian's book, Are You Getting Screwed on Your Property Taxes? How to Find Out and How to Fix It. Attorney Quintilian answers all your questions and gives you the facts you need to fight a property tax bill that is spiraling out of control. You'll also read about what happens to property owners who don't check their property records, only to find out too late they're taxed on square footage, fixtures, and even buildings that they don't own. Is this happening to you? Learn your rights. Buy attorney Pat Quintilian's book today. Are You Getting Screwed on Your Property Taxes? How to Find Out and How to Fix It. Available on Amazon.com.
And we're all back. Thank you for staying tuned through our brief messages. We appreciate it. Let's see, Karen. I think we're going to take our first caller right now. Her name is Sue, and we're going to welcome Sue on the line. Sue, you're live on the air. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Sue.
How are
you tonight? Good, thank you.
I'm good.
Thank you for calling in. Do you have a question for our guest, Karen Anderson?
Yes, Karen, I just want to say I'm a fan of yours on Facebook also, and I've had just a couple recently communications with animals, and I found it so exciting and rewarding. So I need to get your book and follow your wisdom and follow it through further. But my question
isn't it amazing? I mean, oh my God, my whole life has been changed drastically for the better because of listening to the animals and hearing their messages. I mean, isn't it just so exciting?
It is exciting, and I've had one that was passed over that wanted me to say something to its owner, and it was so emotional. The love I felt from the animal for the owner it's overwhelming.
It is. Sometimes it'll knock me out of my chair, literally, and I try to stay very focused during a session. And I've been moved to tears sometimes. I know that sounds really sappy, but I don't cry very easily. And it's so powerful, the emotion that will run through you. And this is all energetic. This is a message sent energetically. And, I'm nowhere near the animal. They're, some of them are even passed on, transitioned, as I like to call it. And it will literally move me to tears to hear what they have to say. And there's no words that can describe it.
No, absolutely. There's nothing like that feeling here on Earth.
Nope, there's not.
Karen, I was wondering...
go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was wondering, lately in the news you see these swarms of dolphins, you see these large swarms of sharks near the coast, and even here in Pennsylvania I'm seeing... usually we see one or two robins on the grass in the spring as a sign, but I'm seeing groups of like 20 robins sitting in the yard. Is something, what, can you help me understand why they are sticking together in such large groups.
Well, there's a lot of that going on, and I know that for 2012 and all the change that came about because of that particular solar incident that was going on, and there's so much happening right now, and the animals are very sensitive to all of those vibrational energies. They are able to pick up subtle nuances that, of course, we can't, or we're not able to, or most of us aren't tuned into. And there truly is safety in numbers. And that is really for any group of animals and humans. There's safety in numbers. And so they are coming together to be there as a kind of a strong force. And it's because we are up against such challenging times in our environment, in our economy as humans. We're right on the brink of, I think, a spiritual kind of awakening. There's more people talking about energy work and psychic work and medium work, and 2012. It's really exciting. And the
Some people are calling it a spiritual tsunami.
It is.
Well, it really is. I'll speak to that. I mean, the gateways of light and the energy that's come through to this planet is massive. And these shifts are affecting people. Some of them are feeling irritated. Some of them are feeling that they're more in the vibration of divine light. Veil is much thinner, and everyone is sort of connecting on some level and feeling this immense shift. And so I thank you for that answer, Karen, because we were looking at those thousands of dolphins that collected, weren't we, Patricia, on a show a couple of weeks ago?
Yes, that was right off the coast of California.
Right, and I really got that it had something to do with Earth changes, but I hear what you're saying, Karen. Your response is absolutely perfect. I mean, they're just feeling all of this massive shifting, and you're right, there's safety in numbers, so that would make sense.
Definitely. I feel it, and I pay attention to it, and, like in the tsunamis, the animals they sense it, and they find higher ground, and they really are tuned in much more to the environment than we are, and it's good to get back to that and remember that we can all communicate with our animals. It doesn't take being in law enforcement. It doesn't take having any special skill. Anybody can learn as long as they have an open mind and a love of animals and a respect for animals. If you don't think you can do it, you probably can't. But if you put it out there that you can, then chances are you will.
Right.
I like that.
Right.
Very positive.
Yeah, I like that too. Thank you, Sue, for the question. We appreciate your calling in and taking your time. Well, that was lovely. Well, thank you. Let's take another caller now. We're going to go to Dixie. Dixie's been waiting for a while. And welcome, Dixie. You're live on the air. Do you have a question for Karen?
Hello. I do.
Hi.
Thank you for taking my call. Hi. I'm wondering about a cat that I rescued. She was left on the side of the road in a crate, and so I have no information about where she came from or her health or anything like that. So I'm just wondering if you could tap into that a little bit and let me know, like, what her previous home was like and why she was left there.
Well, Dixie, I think you might be better off taking a snapshot of your beloved animal and sending it off to Karen at her website, because that's how she works, is through pictures. So we weren't really taking calls about specific readings tonight, but maybe, Karen, you could comment a little bit on some of the mindset of animals that have been abused or neglected.
Absolutely. And Dixie, first of all, I want to say thank you for opening your home and your heart to this creature in need. And I am a foster mom, but I call myself a permanent foster because they stay. They never leave. Yes. So, and I'm that way too. I will always welcome in a stray. I will take them in. I will, take very good care of them. But I want you to realize something. There is no coincidence in anything that has to do with animals that come in and out of our lives. And we get excited about this when they come into our lives, but we get extremely sad when they leave us because we feel like we've lost them or we're missing them physically, or why did they only live a short time, or why couldn't they be here longer. There's no coincidence. Everything has a purpose and a reason behind it. I have found, and tell me if you guys have had this experience, the animals that are here for the shortest amount of time are the ones that really get into your heart and just change you. There's just something about them that you can't even put your finger on it and describe it. And those are the ones that don't have to be here very long because their stay with us in physical form is so brief, but they're so high vibrationally that they don't have to put in as much time, so to speak, on the earth plane. They can move on to their next adventure.
Mhm. Yeah, I haven't had that many pets. My dog died when she was 8. I guess that's not too young, but yeah, I haven't really experienced that too much. I haven't had that many pets. I have 4 right now, so.
Oh, that's nothing. I've got you beat on those. But Helene and Patricia, have you ever experienced that where it just seems like the ones that we really are connected to, they don't stay as long as we would like them to?
Well, that's definitely true. I mean, I have a friend who once said to me the only problem with our pets is that they don't outlive us. But my pets tend to live a long time because I treat them so well. So, they sleep on Tempur-Pedic beds and they eat fresh chicken and rice and vegetables. And, somebody said to me, when I die, I want to come back as your pet because that's the way I treat my pets. And believe me, these dogs, I have 2 little dogs now, and but I know what you're saying, that sometimes the brevity of a visit from a beloved 4-legged can have just as big an impact as having a dog like a friend of mine just had that lived 19 years. So but again, I think no matter the length of time, Karen and Helene and everybody listening, I just feel that, again, that the power of that relationship, it just can't be matched. There is something there that is so profound. And, again, you're right. People can tune into their pets. They can tune into the animals. They can tune into the earth. What we're doing, though, for the most part, is we're tuning into our iPads and our cell phones, and we want the weather. We're not checking in with the earth and our connection to the weather outside. We're checking in to see what the weather says on television or one of these other instruments, and that's the big difference. So what you're suggesting when people want to talk to pets is a whole organic experience of reconnection.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And for Dixie and this little stray, there's no coincidence there. The 2 of you came together for a reason and a purpose, and the best thing to do is just to accept and move forward and be grateful and thankful that they've entrusted you with their care, because it's a huge compliment. It is a wonderful big pat on the back, because there must be a neon sign flashing above your head that says that you're a good mom. So
yeah.
they're going to come from all over. So just know that it's all for a reason and a purpose, and someday it'll all make sense.
Yeah, good for you, right. Dixie. Good for you.
Thank you so much for the call. Thank you, Dixie.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Bye.
This is a fascinating discussion. We do have more callers on the line. But right now, Karen, I'd like to ask you, I have heard briefly, and as I said, my work does not encompass animals usually, but I have heard about the Rainbow Bridge for animals. Do you know anything about that?
The Rainbow Bridge is a very busy bridge. It's got a lot of activity on it, and I would say that there is definitely a huge reunion and celebration that takes place. In fact, you guys are going to love this. When I'm preparing for a session, I will always do a prayer and a blessing before I begin. It just helps me focus. It helps me just kind of get in the right frame of mind. And sometimes the animals are so excited and so anxious to come through that they'll show up early for an appointment.
Oh, humans do the same thing, Karen.
It's like, no. Your appointment, your appointment is in 2 hours. You're gonna have to wait. And they do. They are so excited when they are reunited with us, either through a session that I have with them, or when their human finally makes their transition. It is a reunion and a celebration of life and love like no other. And they're actually joyful when they transition. The death experience for animals is extremely full of love and joy, regardless of what we see physically happening to them. It is an amazing experience, and I have never had a single animal tell me that it was horrible, not one. And I've done tens of thousands of sessions.
So is the Rainbow Bridge a link to a way or a road for them to get into heaven?
Yeah, I think it is just a good illustration that we are always connected. That if you want to use that as symbolic, the animals for me are right there. I mean, they're just literally within reach. I can reach out and feel them, touch them, sense them, pick up on their energy. And symbolically, the Rainbow Bridge is the connection to them energetically speaking. It does feel like that when somebody makes their transition, because everybody gets so excited, and it's like a big family reunion when they all get to be back together again.
Well, thank you, Karen. I think
it's very much alive and well in spirit. I'm sorry, Helene. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Patricia, should we take another caller now?
I think we better. We've got so many people on the line. I want to make sure that we attend to all their questions while Karen is with us tonight.
Okay, so we'll take another caller before the break, and we're welcoming Dawn. Dawn has been waiting, and we thank you for being patient, Dawn. You're live on the air.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm just hoping for some kind of peace. I feel guilty for all my animals' deaths and my dad's death, and I just need to know that I need to know if they forgive me.
I'm having a hard time hearing you, Dawn. Could you hear the question, Patricia?
Dawn, I heard you say something about that you felt guilty for the death of all your pets and for your father's death as well. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Yes? And what's your question to Karen?
Well, I can comment on that if that's okay.
Go ahead.
Because I'm having a difficult time hearing as well, but I just want to comment on that. And I write about this in my book, You're All Creatures, because I carried around the guilt of, I thought I was responsible for the death of an animal. I carried that guilt around for 30-some-odd years. And it was not something that I set out to do. It was something that needed to happen for my soul's growth and for the growth of the animal that was involved. And it was not my responsibility that I learned. In fact, it was actually something that helped me continue my line of work in communicating with the animals, and it was something that changed my way of looking at when our animals pass away forever. It was like a light bulb went off, because what this animal told me was that I did not wake up that day to do them any harm. In fact, I did everything to help them. I took care of them. I medicated them. I fed them, watered them, loved them. And it was never my intention, and there's the word, the key word is intention, to do anything but help this particular animal. Now, when we carry around the guilt, that's because we think that we didn't do something soon enough, fast enough, we should have caught it, we should have taken him to the vet or done one more surgery. If we're supposed to cure our animals, it'll happen. If we're not supposed to cure them or get them into recovery, it's not going to happen. And it has nothing to do with how good or how bad a pet parent you are. It has to do with the soul growth between you and that particular animal, and the intention in your heart. So just ask yourself, did I wake up that morning and did I intend to do anything but help, love, honor, respect, and cherish that animal? Well, of course not. You just wanted to do what was best, and that's how you can look at, going forward, look at how truly the animals that have transitioned have entrusted their lives with you. And again, that is just a huge compliment. It means you're a very good mom, a very good dad, a very good care provider, because that animal has entrusted you with their most vulnerable moment. And they're also extremely good at covering things up. So I feel your pain, Dawn, and it's hard to move through that. And it's something that we all, I think, struggle with, especially if we have to make that decision of what's going to happen to them. That is not fun for anyone, me included.
Well, that's a good answer, Karen. But, Dawn, did you have to take your dad off of life support? Is that what you feel guilty about?
No, I was upstairs taking a shower, and I didn't let him know that I came home, and he died out in the yard of a massive heart attack, and I had my one dog out there, and I know she saw everything, and I don't know why he didn't come in the house to say he wasn't feeling well.
Mm-hmm. But, really, when it's someone's time, it's someone's time. And, we can't be stuck like glue to our loved ones waiting to see what happens. And even if we are stuck like glue to them, they could come down with something really seriously tragic at that moment that we really can't intervene with. And that's the way it was supposed to happen, just the way Karen was describing. And I hope that you can understand that your dad is fine in heaven, that, he's not holding you responsible for his passing. Okay, Dawn?
Like, am I going to see all them again? Or
soul groups stay together. People who are connected in love throughout their life, throughout their most recent existence, all seem to join up again in that heavenly space in God's kingdom, and you will see them again, all of them. And there are a lot of them the way I'm getting it, Dawn.
I never got to tell my dad how much I loved them, but I'm sorry I let them down. And
yeah, but he knew you loved him because you cared about him and you were there for him and you did everything you could. And so we have to let whatever happened go as how it was meant to be, just the way Karen was talking about, It's really sad when we lose someone that we truly love, that we rely on, that we expect to see every day. It's difficult, but there is no guilt on your part, Dawn. There's nothing that you did that could have been different.
And there's one thing that I can share again about how we blame ourselves because we didn't notice something, see something, catch something soon enough. Mm-hmm. And truly it is something that we can alter, at least for a while. We can change the course, the direction of an outcome to, let's say, maybe, Dawn, there's actually some things that happened before that day that you were there and you took care of whatever was happening to your father. And ultimately, though, when it is in that person's path and it is for them to make their transition, there isn't anything anyone can do, even if you had 1,000 of the best surgeons right there waiting for your dad. When it's time, it's time. And we can alter it and change it for so long, and then ultimately they have to continue on their path and their soul's journey. So I do believe that we can, for at least a time, we can make decisions or we can do things or help them, keep them here longer. But honestly, when they make that transition, they are so happy to be in energy form. It is just like a huge celebration to be out of a body that has failed them.
They get to leave all the pain behind, and they get to be in pure love and light. And so that is a very happy transition for them. It's hard for us to lose them, of course. They're beloved to us, and we're left here in the world, seemingly alone in some way, but they really are happy and they are free of pain and illness and everything. So, yeah, Karen. Well, thank you so much for the call, Dawn. I hope that it helped.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Good night.
Yeah.
Well, those are some really interesting questions, Karen. And right now, Patricia, we're going to take a break, okay?
Righty.
And the number to call in is 646-478-0828. And we'll be right back with Karen Anderson after our short break. Stay tuned.
Your property tax bill. Have you seen it lately? It's frightening. Your property taxes are going up while your home value is going down. It's time to fight back and win. For the real truth about the property tax system, get attorney Pat Quintilian's book, Are You Getting Screwed on Your Property Taxes? How to Find Out and How to Fix It. Attorney Quintilian answers all your questions and gives you the facts you need to fight a property tax bill that is spiraling out of control. You'll also read about what happens to property owners who don't check their property records, only to find out too late they're taxed on square footage, fixtures, and even buildings that they don't own. Is this happening to you? Learn your rights. Buy attorney Pat Quintilian's book today. Are You Getting Screwed on Your Property Taxes? How to Find Out and How to Fix It. Available on Amazon.com.
Sometimes life can be a challenge. Would you like insight and guidance to help you make the best choices right now? Contact Helene at angelslighthouse.com to make your personal appointment for a psychic reading or energy alignment. Helene is a direct channel to the angelic realm and is remarkably capable of connecting to the living as well as to your loved ones on the other side. Helene is available to clients all over the world via phone or Skype, and it's simple to set up a group reading anywhere. Visit angelslighthouse.com, where you'll find an easy way to schedule right online. And while you're there, sign up for the Angels Lighthouse newsletter and receive information on all the free energy circles, giveaways, and jewelry with a message. Visit angelslighthouse.com and contact Helene today.
And we're back. Thank you all for staying tuned to this fascinating discussion with Karen Anderson, author of the book, Hear All Creatures. And you can find her book at her website. Could you say that again, Karen?
Sure. It's KarenAnderson.net, or you can also find me through animalcommunicating.com, or just find me on Facebook, and the links will be on there as well.
I see there's more callers now, Helene. So.
Oh, they sure are. This is awesome.
Yes, and this is great. Well, there's a lot of animal lovers out here, and I'm so glad that there are. So should we take another call?
Sure. Why don't we say hello to Star? She has also been very, very patient. And welcome, Star. You're live on the air. Karen Anderson.
How wonderful. Good to hear you ladies taking care of our animals. I have a question of insight, and can I give you several names? And I just would like to be fresh, with no influence, to have you speak with them.
Who are you directing that to?
To Karen.
Okay, Karen wasn't taking specific live readings on air tonight. What she's doing is giving us information. Karen works from photographs, and you might want to connect through her website and send her the photographs of your beloved animals, and she'll be happy to work with you. Did you have a general question about how your animals...
Well, I guess I can make it general. If I could give the names and like a group, like what you're talking about earlier, sensing the group, or
Karen,
an awareness. It's the forest for the trees kind of situation.
Okay, go ahead and share your question.
The love and safety and balance, and the everyday living, the happiness, the unhappiness, without having my perspective in it. And I'd like to just mention their names, within the environment. Sarah, Abigail, Star Angel, Max, Purity, Peeps, just an awareness.
Well, they certainly come through with a lot of love, I can tell you that, because there's like a big whoosh of air that just goes right past me. So I can feel all of that energy coming through. And I'm hearing that they're all together. So everybody is coming through together, like one big soul group, one big family. That's the feeling that I have.
Okay, so whether they're separated or together, but collectively they're unified, they're still in that connection?
They're individual to me. I see the individual to them, but they come through as one group, one family group or one soul group. So they are still individual.
Okay. And within that unique combination of individual and collective grouping, can you give us specific on their demeanor or their joy or heartache, or is there anything that is out of sync with them, or are they, balanced and at peace?
Well, apparently you've done a fabulous job, because from what I'm seeing, there is a calm feeling around them. So kudos to you for doing all the right things, and we can really affect how our animals make their transition and how they are able to cope and handle the change, moving from physical form to energetic form, by doing exactly what you have done, and that is to honor them, to talk about them in positives, to share your favorite memories, and to make their life and what they brought to you when they were in physical form more important than their death and how they transitioned. It's a celebration in honor of them, and they feel your feelings like 100 times stronger than you do. So if you're feeling love for them, they feel that love 100 times stronger. If you're feeling sad for them or guilty or upset, then they feel that same way 100 times stronger. So you have the ability to control that emotion and how they're feeling, just like you would turn the volume up or down on the stereo. You have the ability to change that just by your thoughts. Thoughts are real, and they hear everything that you say, even if it's out loud or quietly to yourself. They hear everything.
But are you sensing aliveness, on the planet, or are you sensing death that they've transitioned over?
I'm picking up on their energetic form. I'm not trying to decide who's alive and who has passed on. That would take up the entire rest of the show, and I don't think Patricia...
Okay, because it was confusing me. So your tuning in is just purely their soul.
Exactly. So whether they are deceased or still in physical form, I see them, their energy comes through to me the same. And the way that I'm able to determine if they are still here or not, it takes, I'll say, a lot more time. It takes me to have an entire session to spend with them so that I can relay their messages. And
then my next question to finalize this is, with you speaking and hearing their uniquenesses, are they requesting a read from you? Is it their request that it's time? Or
I'll answer that in a general way. And every animal that I have spoken to, with the exception of maybe a handful, have been extremely excited and anxious to share their messages.
Mm-hmm.
They all love it. They love the attention. They love to be able to share. They love the fact that you're thinking of them, that you're talking about them. They light up like a Christmas tree when they hear you talk about them.
Okay, so I can put that into their hearts through this universal mutual connection where there are two or more, or three, and come into a wonderful spirit connection and just elaborate the wonderful universes, just expounding. There is no limitation of our love.
There isn't.
No, there isn't.
And they are truly a reflection of us. They're our little barometer. So when there's trouble brewing at home, I can almost always find the connection to trouble within the animals. And the opposite is true, too. When things are really going smoothly and well in your life, then they will reflect that back to me as well.
Okay.
Well,
all right.
We thank you, Star. Thank you so much for your comments and questions.
Thank you.
Yep. Yeah, that is interesting. I think, Karen, that everybody wants to connect to their specific animals, right? And they really need to send you a picture and connect with you for an appointment, and that's how they'll get the most information and the best benefit from the connection, right?
Right. And tonight, for the show tonight, I just wanted to share a little bit with them, get to know you, get to know them, and, just talk about the animals that we love. And for the more detailed questions and the more specific information, it's certainly worth scheduling a session so that you can have that one-on-one time with me and really hear how your animals are doing and what they're thinking and feeling. And tonight I just wanted to keep that this celebration about the new show.
Oh, well, that's great. We're all in favor of that. Thank you. And Karen, I do have a kind of a general question for you. Is there a difference in the way domestic animals and our pets communicate versus wild?
Not at all. The only difference that I will say is that the animals that are, I'll say, domesticated or that are around us, or they are in our energy more often, they're very much up to date with, I don't want to say current events, but they understand things like going to work and the phone and running errands. They understand those kinds of things, whereas animals that are born wild and continue to live wild, they don't have that information. It's not needed, so they kind of tune that stuff out. For them, it's all about survival for the wild animals, so they will talk about themselves, and they will talk usually about the things they like, and it's all about survival, whereas the domesticated animals, those that we share our lives with, will tell me everything from finances to careers to relationships, you name it.
That's amazing. It's amazing that the animals that we do share our lives with grasp the complexities of our lives probably better than we do. I mean, it's amazing to me that they have that depth of understanding, and I don't doubt it for a second that they have that depth of understanding. And then if you can go back to the wild animals, I know there's been a lot said by a number of animal communicators and even other elders about what some of the larger animals carry in terms of wisdom, like the whales, like the elephants, that there is a very powerful kind of a quantum consciousness that these animals hold, memories of our existence on the planet that just supersede so many other civilizations that we think we know about. Do you feel the same way about that?
I absolutely do. And the one thing that I'm a student. I continue to learn every day, and each session that I have, I pick up something new and different than I have from any other session in the past. And it truly is a learning experience to hear what the animals have to say and how they view things and what's important. And when it comes to the consciousness of certain species like the cetaceans or, the elephants or any group like that, there's in any group consciousness, there are going to be the individual personalities, and I tend to focus in on the individual personalities because I really like that one-on-one time with them, but they are so much more in tune to the subtleties and the connectiveness that we all have, and they remember that we can communicate. They're shocked sometimes when I tell them who I am. I've had someone say to me, one of the animals that I was talking to, say, "A human talking to me?" And they were just what? They were just so amazed. I was like, "Yes, I'm talking to you." They're so much better at it than we are. They are truly masters at communicating. They will even get a little bit fussy with me if I take too long, if I don't kind of zip through their messages. And if you've ever had a session with me, I start out slowly with my when I begin the session, and then all of a sudden I get revved up. I can't keep up. I have to talk so fast to keep up with their messages because they have so much information to share, so much that they want to give, so much that they want to talk about. And I've had clients that have signed up. They say, "Oh, I want to talk to all my animals tonight." And then I say, "Okay, and who do you want to start with?" And then we start with whichever one they want to start with. And they end up spending the entire time on that one animal because it may not be what you wanted to hear, but it's what you need to hear. And I always believe
that's true. Yeah, and that's true, Karen, and I just want to relay one of many animal situations I've had, and I'm not an animal communicator, but sometimes it comes through. And I saw this woman's dog. She's just an acquaintance, and I connected with the dog immediately. He just wanted to talk, okay? And so I'm looking at the dog, and I'm hearing him talk, and she looked at me and said, "You're talking to my dog, aren't you?" And I said, yeah, because I really didn't want to go there. This was a social situation, not a reading event.
Right.
And she said, "What's he saying? What's he saying?" And I said, "Well, you know your dog well. You don't, it's not that important, whatever." And she made me tell her what he was saying. And he was saying that he was very upset because she left him alone so often. This poor animal was just a little bit depressed. He wasn't having a verveful life. He felt ignored and neglected. Even though she took good care of him, she wasn't there most of the time. And boy, I got to tell you, she did not want to hear that message.
Nope.
She told me in spades, "My dog is the best cared for dog on the world," and I, blah blah. And I'm like, "Well, that's fine. I may not have heard him properly, whatever." I had to let it go because now, do you run across that with messages from animals that people get sort of not that happy about the message?
Yeah, so I have so many stories that are popping up into my mind that I can share with you. But the one I think that stands out tremendously is I had a client contact me. This was years and years ago, and her major complaint was that her husband's cat was peeing in her very expensive Nordstrom shoes. The cat was not peeing in the $20 Payless shoes, the buy one get one frees, but the cat was peeing in the very expensive Nordstrom shoes. So she wanted me to find out why. So I connected with the cat, and the cat said, I was asking, what's going on? Why are you so upset and why are you peeing in your mom's shoes? And I'm laughing now because this just blew me away. And the cat said, because I'm upset that they locked me out of the bedroom. And I said, oh, and I'm talking to the cat. I said, your mom and dad lock you out of the room, so you show that you're upset by going pee in the shoes? And the cat said, that man is not my dad.
Oh, my. What did the cat mean by that?
I know what you meant.
The mom was in the bedroom and kicked the cat out, and the man that was in there with her wasn't
her husband.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, Mike, let's see. The cat was definitely making a statement in more ways than one.
Well, and then, of course, you get in the beginning, you have this moral dilemma. Well, do I tell him? Do I say it? Do I tell him? Well, you know what? If she's paying me to find out why her cat is peeing in her shoes, I better do my job. So I told her, your cat doesn't like it when you and that man, who's not her daddy, lock her out of the bedroom. So I told her.
And what was her reaction?
I never heard from her again.
Oh, God. Her cat outed her affair. Oh, my goodness me.
Animals are so honest. They just tell it like it is.
That's great. That is absolutely great. What a great story.
I know.
Love that story. Yeah.
So definitely, yeah, it's not always what you want to hear, but it's definitely a message that you need to hear. And I won't censor. I do not censor the message. The only time that I've had to alter what I said was I was on a live show just like this one, and someone called in, and there was something very seriously wrong with his mother, and I had to contact him off the air. And on the air, just for the sake of him and his feelings, I didn't reveal what his dog was telling me, because that's private and personal, and so I did that very discreetly off the air. But otherwise, I will tell it like it is. If you're going to ask the questions, I'm going to get the answers, and you may not like the answers, but that's the answer.
I hear you on that one, Karen. I really do. Let's take another caller. We have Daniel, and we're going to welcome him live on the line tonight. Daniel, are you there?
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Going great.
Good, thanks. I'm all right, thank you. Have you ever encountered, when you're talking to animals, like evil or possessed animals?
Fascinating question.
Say that again. I believe it's out there.
Have you ever come across evil or possessed animals before?
Oh, no. Actually, I only work with energies of the light. I am very much a light worker, and I don't work with the lower vibrational energies, so to speak.
So you've never encountered them before?
I will not work with them, no. I have now on my ghost investigations that I do, yes, I've come across all kinds of crazy things like that. But in my normal sessions, no. There are a lot more scary human beings walking around on this planet right now than there are anything in animal that has ever been here. I mean, as an ex-law enforcement, I can tell you I'm more concerned about the human animal than I am about any furry animal, feathered animal, or reptiled animal.
Okay.
So
well, no. I've got a red poodle. He's like a really nice guy and stuff. He's like really fun to play with. But at night time, when everybody's sleeping, he makes some strange noises. And I recorded those noises. Do you want me to play them to you so you can have a listen and see what you think?
No, I'd rather you didn't, Daniel. Thank you.
Really?
No, really, because I'll tune into it, and I agree with what Karen says. A lot of the scary stuff comes right out of human spirit and out of humans that are walking the earth. And I personally have never come across a possessed animal, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Right. And what I'm afraid of with your recording is that the energy of that will come right through to me, and I don't think the audience needs to hear that. there is an energetic coming through the animal, but I'm not clear on what it is right now. It might be something that... Okay. Bye, Daniel. I'm sorry to have to cut Daniel off. Hello? Patricia?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, Karen, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, I had to hang up on Daniel. Sorry about that. It's an interesting question, though, and I understand what he was getting at, but I don't think this is the time or place for it right now. Do you ladies agree with me?
Yeah, there's all kinds of there's all kinds of dark energies out there, more, much more than what we're even scratching the surface of here. And that's for another show, another time. We're talking about the happy, wonderful, joyful animals that we love and that we care about and that we want to communicate with, and how we can do that just by being around them.
And also, I just need to add that I think when people perceive something possibly dark coming from their animals, I think most of the time, if not all times, it's simple projection. Because animals are pure. And especially when it comes to the pets that we have, I mean, to think that a dog or a cat or something is being possessed by another spirit, I mean, I think a lot of that, the owner has to look to themselves and say, what am I attracting? And, I think 9 times out of 10, if not more, the dogs, the cats are trying to get rid of that energy. They're trying to process that energy out of the space. I mean, I think that's the whole purpose when you talk to people who are witches or pagans, that they have familiars, and that was as a protection. So, again, and I hate to see owners of pets project that onto pure, innocent-hearted pets. Again, I don't think it is the pet. I think lots of times the owner's involved in something that they don't want to face or they don't want to get in touch with, and then it comes out and they take it out on their pet, and I don't think that that's right. So I think you have to be very careful when you attribute any negative energy like that to a pet.
I agree, and I also want to just reiterate from what I was mentioning before that our animals are barometers of us. They reflect back how we are, spiritually, energetically, emotionally, and so if your animal is acting strange or having those kinds of issues like the caller had, then you have to look at yourself.
I agree.
They're barometers.
That was very eloquently put, Patricia, and I appreciate that he called, but it's time for us to move on to another happy caller. And the next caller is named Tim, and this is the last call we'll take before the break. We welcome Tim live on the air. Hi, how are you tonight?
Hi, I'm good, thanks. I was actually I wanted to share a little story I had about something that my dog was actually like. It sounded like he was trying to communicate to me. If you could tell me anything about that, it would be helpful.
Okay, he's cutting out for me, so I can't hear what the question is.
Could you repeat your question again? Because, Tim, you were cutting out. I don't know if you're on a cell phone and you're moving around, but we need to hear you clearly and what your question is this evening.
Yeah, sorry. Can you hear me now?
You're still cutting out, but let's see if we can make out your question.
Is it all right now? Because I wanted
better.
to ask. All right. Okay. So I wanted to say about something I felt my dog was trying to communicate to me. And do you think you would know anything about that?
Well, what happened?
Well, he actually just one day he was just coming out from playing outside, just getting his exercise for the day, and he just came inside and he sang me this.
You better get that dog an agent and get him in showbiz. Like that.
Sign him up.
Yeah, definitely.
My darling husband Arthur is doing the call screening tonight.
Hey, Arthur, great job.
Well, these people, they're pranksters, and they come on all straight and everything, and then they change their tune when they're live on the air.
You know what, though? I think it's hilarious. They're listening to us.
I do too.
They want to make fun of us, but, the joke's really on them because they could be doing how many other things right now, and they're listening to us, and they're calling.
And it's currency with us. That's kind of complicated by itself. You're right. But right now it is time for another break, and so we hope you all stay tuned. The number to call in is 646-478-0828. We're going to try to get to another couple of calls here. And stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Your property tax bill. Have you seen it lately? It's frightening. Your property taxes are going up while your home value is going down. It's time to fight back and win. For the real truth about the property tax system, get attorney Pat Quintilian's book, Are You Getting Screwed on Your Property Taxes? How to Find Out and How to Fix It. Attorney Quintilian answers all your questions and gives you the facts you need to fight a property tax bill that is spiraling out of control. You'll also read about what happens to property owners who don't check their property records, only to find out too late they're taxed on square footage, fixtures, and even buildings that they don't own. Is this happening to you? Learn your rights. Buy attorney Pat Quintilian's book today. Are You Getting Screwed on Your Property Taxes? How to Find Out and How to Fix It. Available on Amazon.com.
Sometimes life can be a challenge. Would you like insight and guidance to help you make the best choices right now? Contact Helene at angelslighthouse.com to make your personal appointment for a psychic reading or energy alignment. Helene is a direct channel to the angelic realm and is remarkably capable of connecting to the living as well as to your loved ones on the other side. Helene is available to clients all over the world via phone or Skype, and it's simple to set up a group reading anywhere. Visit angelslighthouse.com, where you'll find an easy way to schedule right online. And while you're there, sign up for the Angels Lighthouse newsletter and receive information on all the free energy circles, giveaways, and jewelry with a message. Visit angelslighthouse.com and contact Helene today.
I welcome everybody back, and thank you for staying tuned with our delightful guest, Karen Anderson, author of Hear All Creatures. And Karen, if you'd like to say the name of your book, the name of your website again, we'll do that, and then we have a couple more callers to get to.
Okay, I am on the internet, on Facebook. You can find my website, it's KarenAnderson.net. or animalcommunicating.com. And also I have to throw out a little plug for myself. I am in a contest for favorite animal communicator, and the last day to vote is this Tuesday, the 19th of March. And it's a very close race. I won second place last year, and I would really love to get that coveted first place. There's no real prize other than just bragging rights. So if your listeners would vote for me, I would just absolutely love them to pieces. And you can
where do they vote for you, Karen?
Well, they can find the link on my Facebook account, or they can go to about.com. And about.com has the 2013 Reader's Choice Awards. And just do a Google search for favorite animal communicator, and be sure to vote Karen Anderson. You have to put your email address in, and that would be wonderful if they could do that for me.
Great.
Oh, thank you. That's awesome. Well, let's welcome Jane to the program now. She's been waiting for quite a while, and I'm trying to get her mic on, but there it goes. Okay, welcome, Jane. You're live on the air.
Hi, how are you doing tonight?
We're doing fine. We're having a little fun here.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
Promise I'm not like that. So.
Okay.
I just wanted to make a comment about some just strange things that I think animals pick up on, spirits and things, because I'm currently in my mother's home, going through her estate. She passed away a year ago. And I have my dog with me, and we're always together, and he's been with me for 11 years. And when she passed away a year ago and we came and stayed for about a month, he knew she wasn't here because he kept going into her bedroom, and he'd walk around and look at me, and sometimes in the middle of the night he'd get up and he'd just start barking. It was really weird. And then when I've been here this year, we're trying to now sell the house, and he seems to be sensing things again, and it's just so weird because, I mean, I've always been sort of being able to sense things, but I can tell he's seeing things around, you know. And it's just interesting because he looks around the room, and I keep saying, Bojo, what are you doing? And, you know, he's in the middle of the night and stuff. It's just weird. So I just thought I'd say I think they can sense so much more than we know, and also that when I was going through a lot of stress in my life, he was really picking up on it, because, like, if I was within a day, he'd get sick or upset, and it was just like I was trying to block it so he wouldn't get that way, but they're really amazing. I'm a huge dog lover, but I love animals.
I know, isn't it fun? And yes, they are. Yeah. They're sensitive to those energies that are around us. They can pick up on them, sense them. I often hear clients say, well, my cat keeps staring up into the corner of my room and there's nothing there. Yes, there is. It's probably a loved one. And it's never...
It's true. You know, animals are a little bit like people that way. You can get 2 or 3 or 4 animals in one household, and some of them are much more sensitive than others. And I've noticed that very clearly even among my own pets, that some of them are more in tune with that kind of spiritual vibration than others are. So it's kind of fascinating to watch the ones that really are in tune with it.
There's an old American saying, and I love it, because basically it's very simple, but it says this: every animal knows more than you do.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
That is true.
Yeah. It is so true. Yeah. I love that.
Well,
It is. You know, they're comfortable in their own skin. They are usually very honest. I've had a couple of them try to pull my leg, especially if it's a litter box issue. They'll point to the other cat in the house and say, he did it. But, you know, for everything that I have learned from the animals, there's an amazing, humbling feeling that washes over me, because we think we're so smart. We think we're so that, and we're not compared to what they are able to do and create. And I mean, they're just amazing. I mean, we need to stay in the moment. I wish everybody who's listening would just learn one thing from today, is to watch your animals. They are in the moment. They're right now. They're not in a week from now. They're not 2 weeks ago. They're in the moment, and enjoy it.
Yeah, that's exactly true. Thank you very much. I love listening to you guys.
Thank you for listening, and thank you for calling.
I'll keep listening. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Are
We're
you
going to take... Yep. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you cut out for a second. I got worried.
Okay. No, I'm still here, thank goodness.
Yes.
We're going to take one more caller, and then you have a huge question for Karen, Patricia.
I do?
And I will Yeah, I'll remind you of it after we talk to Pat. We're getting her live on the line.
All righty.
Welcome, Pat.
Hi, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I'm just going to rattle on a little bit. I have had coonhounds for more than 18 years, all rescued. I'm also an artist and trying to get a career going with animal portraits, especially dogs. This last dog that I took in, I didn't want, but he was going to be put down, so I said I'd foster him. And within 15 minutes, he had my head in his mouth of coming into my home. And I realized, okay, I'm not going to find a home for him that's, anyone that's going to be more patient than I am. And, I want to control his fate. So I gave him 2 months and then 2 years. And he's a phenomenal dog with a huge heart. He has fear aggression, so I'm always going to have to be careful. And my world is limited. But I've had a tough life, and I've been going through an especially hard time now, and I'm concerned because I think he's concerned about me, and I just want to see where he is with all that and that he's okay, or maybe he's not.
Well, the one thing that you can do right now is just shift your perspective in the way that you are looking at things.
Okay.
The best thing that you can do to honor him is to think in terms of what you want and what's positive and what's best. And we as humans, and I'm guilty, I know this because I've done it a million times, we have a tendency to focus on what we don't have or what we're missing or what we need, instead of thinking about what we want. What does it look like? Picture your success as an artist. Picture that with just love in your heart and laminate it and remind yourself to look at that every day and think it every day. Put out there what you want, and it will come to you. It may not be in the time frame that you want it to be, because we all want things right now, but it'll happen when it's supposed to. So the best thing you can do for your dog and any animal that you share your life with is to think in terms of what you want. And this goes across the board for behavior problems. I cannot tell you how many times that I have had behavior problems that have been resolved just by having the human counterpart switch their perspective about what they want instead of what they didn't want.
Right, yes.
So powerful. It sounds so simple and cliche, and even saying it out loud, it just sounds too simple. It may not solve things 100%, or it may not be 100% perfect all the time, but it'll improve dramatically.
Okay.
So that's what you can do. Focus on what you want. Picture it in your mind. If you can think it, it will happen.
Okay.
If you can't think it, it won't happen.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Well,
that's good.
Thank you.
Can you tell me where he's at and how he's doing?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear that.
Can you tell me where he's at and how he's doing?
Who?
My dog.
Oh, well, we're not doing those kinds of readings tonight. We're just talking about general stuff.
Oh, didn't realize that. Okay.
Yeah, general fun stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah. Connect with Karen through her website, Pat, and thank you so much for the call. It's so lovely that people are calling in tonight. But first, the big thing we forgot to mention, Patricia, is our contest. We're giving away Karen's book tonight, and we're giving away a free reading with me. And so everybody who's listening now needs to go over to supernaturalgirls.com and sign up for the website right now, because at the end of this show we're picking 2 lucky winners, and we will contact you by the email you enter there. Also, by signing up, you'll receive the free Fringe Files report, which includes paranormal news and news about our upcoming guests. And what I wanted to remind you of, Patricia, if you haven't been jogged yet, is your Bigfoot question for Karen.
Oh, yeah. I have that. But you know what? I have a gentleman that's been waiting and also talking to me on chat. He's dying to ask Karen a question.
Oh, sure.
Can we squeeze him in? His name is Marcos. And
Marcos?
Yes.
Okay.
And if we can get Marcos' question, hopefully we can get that done for him quickly, and then I'll jump in with my Bigfoot question.
Marcos, you live on the air, dear?
Yes, I am. Good evening. How are you doing tonight?
We're fine. How can we help you tonight?
Great. I want to talk about a very peculiar experience that I've had. First of all, to get things straight, I've never believed in animal communication until now, because it all happened a summer ago, and I went to the zoo, and of course, I was a skeptic when I thought that the gorilla was speaking to me, but it seemed to be reacting differently to me, and I dismissed it as nothing. So when I came back to the gorillas, one was staring at me, and I heard it begin to whisper, and it started to say, "I'm a nigger, I'm a nigger."
Geez, well, I'm so glad we took that call.
See, it's not all Arthur's fault.
It's not. Now, that was mine. I'll take full responsibility.
Yeah. I was getting a hit not to take any more callers.
Well, and you know what? You were right.
We'll move on to Bigfoot.
Yes, we will go to Bigfoot. So here's my question for you, Karen. We've had 2 different shows on Bigfoot that have been extremely popular with people, and I was wondering if you've had any experiences with the Bigfoot entities. Have you had any communication with them?
Well, that's a fun question, and certainly I live in Eastern Washington right now, so I'm in the heart of Bigfoot territory. And I will tell you that it brings up a very valid question of, is it man or is it animal?
Yeah, what do you think?
It's a good question. I think that whatever it is, or whatever the DNA would break down to be, I truly believe that if there is the Bigfoot himself or herself or the families of them, that there would be no reason why I could not communicate with them. There would be absolutely none, because I can connect with humans and animals, so absolutely, why wouldn't I be able to?
Yeah, well,
have you found any being attracted to your general vicinity of your house, or you haven't really connected with them in that way yet?
I haven't had the opportunity to connect with them, and I am looking forward to that when it does happen. And what a story they would have to tell.
Well, yes, exactly. I mean, and especially with one of the couples that we interviewed, her name is Lori Simmons, and her partner in this is a longtime expeditionist. And these beings, the Bigfoot that she has found dens for, apparently, do respond to her, and primarily her, right, Helene? Because when we had her on the air, we were talking about all of that, and that it was other people were leaving food out for Bigfoot, and they were only taking the food that Lori brought. So it was just a remarkable experience hearing about and what she had accomplished. At the same time, she scared to death of them. So it's not a comfortable experience for her. But I'm very excited about the possibility of real communication to happen between someone like you and the Bigfoot population. I think that would be a really phenomenal experience, and I think it would put a lot of questions to rest about who they really are.
I think so, too, the elusive Bigfoot sending a message. And just for those who are listening, it is something that I don't take myself very seriously, but I take my work very seriously. And I kind of go at it like a cop. I think of it as like I'm going to investigate, and I'm going to find the facts and stick to the facts. And we're having fun tonight, and certainly this topic is one of my personal favorites because it is just, it's all over the board. You have believers, you have non-believers, you have some in the middle, and then you have people that are total skeptics until they have an experience. So I love this. It's just my kind of thing, and I'm really looking forward to the opportunity to connect. And no, I don't have my radar going all the time. So for any Bigfoot out there that is just walking past my house right now, I'm not always in work mode. Sometimes I do take breaks, and I call it being off duty. So I'm not on duty all the time, and I really look forward to that because I had an experience with a 3,500-year-old cat mummy at the King Tut exhibit in Seattle this last year.
Oh, how fascinating.
I know. I didn't know there was going to be a cat there. I went to go see the King Tut exhibit, and there was a cat mummy. So, those kinds of things, I love that. I love the challenge. I love the mystery of it. I love the information that comes through and what they can tell us. And this is just fascinating stuff. That's why I love what I do. That's why
that's awesome.
Mm-hmm. I know. I can't get enough of it.
Mm-hmm. Well, Karen, you've been a fantastic guest, and I really appreciate your time. And, it's just been incredible information about your connection with animals, and I hope that everyone in the audience goes to your website and decides to send you a photo and get a full reading with you, because that's where they'll get very specific and personal information, right? So why don't you say your website again?
Website is KarenAnderson.net. or animalcommunicating.com, and you can find me on Facebook, Karen Anderson Animal Communicator. I'm pretty much all over the place. You can schedule a session and find out what your animals are thinking and even learn how you can communicate with them on a higher level because they love you and they want to share their feelings and messages with you. And congratulations on your new show. I think it's fabulous.
Oh, thank you.
We're honored that you were our first guest, and we appreciate you so much.
Yes. Thank you, and thanks for all the listeners. And you guys are awesome, and just keep shining your light everywhere, and we'll keep those little low-level energies. We know which ones we're talking about. We'll keep them out of the center of attention where they so want to be. I just think it's hilarious that they want to listen to us.
I know, I do too. I thought that was like the best point ever made about something like that, Karen. I really respect that. That's great. I love it.
Oh gosh, like I said, I just like to have fun, and obviously these guys have nothing better to do.
Apparently.
Claire, on the network, he was really good at saying, if you do this, I'm going to give out your phone number publicly. I'm not going to go that far right now, but it's a thought. It's definitely a thought. So, thank you, Karen. We'll talk to you soon.
Yes, we'll have to have you back on the show, Karen, and good luck. We hope that you get all the votes you need to be the #1 animal communicator. And people, don't forget to go vote for Karen. And Karen, we're going to have you back. This has been a great show.
Yeah, let's do it. And the next time we'll do some real short readings on the air, and we'll get some of those questions answered. Thanks a lot, guys.
Terrific. Thank you, Karen. God bless.
Bye-bye.
Well, that was beautiful, wasn't it?
Oh my goodness, we couldn't have had a better guest than Karen, and what a great way to start off Supernatural Girls. It's a terrific energy. It's a real good, warm feeling to have Karen here talking about the animals we love so much and how to communicate with them. It's been great. And we've got another incredible show coming up next week. Should I go ahead and share that with everybody?
Please do. Oh, first I want to interject that if they haven't already, they need to go over to supernaturalgirls.com and put their email address right there to get a chance to win either Karen's book, Hear All Creatures, or a reading with me, Helene Olsen.
Yes, so go do that now, and I will also talk to you about next week. We have a very unusual show, and our guest is going to be Robin Foy. He's going to be calling us from Spain. He is an author and a member of something called the Skoll Experiment Team. Now, here in the United States, we haven't heard much about the Skoll Experiment that was done in England. But this was a really big deal. This experiment chronicled the extraordinary results of a 5-year investigation into life after death. And at the beginning of 1993, 4 psychic researchers started on a series of experiments in the Norfolk village of Skoal. That's why they call it the Skoal experiment. And the subsequent events were so astounding that senior members of the prestigious Society for Psychical Research asked to observe, test, and record what took place. And I want to tell everybody listening, Helene and I have seen some of the physical evidence, some of the things that have turned up on film. We've listened to the auditory recordings, and it totally blew our minds, did it not?
It was unbelievable. I mean, just the sheer volume of physical evidence they got, not just me or anyone else's medium relaying information. I mean, these spirits were putting pictures on unopened canisters of film, right? I mean,
That's
it was
right.
Unbelievable.
And they signed their name to the point where people on the research teams were able to take the signatures and compare them to the signatures these people had in life, and they matched. I mean, this is super spooky stuff, but it's all about the evidence. And Robin Foy is going to be our guest. He's going to be talking to all of us about what happened there, and then the experiment was continued, but in another form, and he's going to be talking to us all about what happened after the Skoal experiment came to a conclusion. So there's just a tremendous amount of information that Robin has for us. I cannot wait to talk to this man. It is really going to be an exciting show. So please, everybody, pass the word. This is a show that cannot be missed. It's new information, especially to us here in the United States. For some reason, we've been in the dark and kept in the dark about it, but it's all coming out now, and we will post videos for you to see. We're going to post the photographs for you to look at, so you'll be very well informed, and I'm sure you're all going to have a lot of good questions for Robin next week.
Patricia, this has been a ball, hasn't it?
Oh, I love this show. I love doing this show with you, Helene. This is just a blast.
It really is, and I thank the so many, many callers and so many, many listeners who are on tonight. This is just awesome. And we're going to say good night, Patricia.
Good night, Helene.
Until next Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern. We'll see you then.
Thanks for listening. Tune in next week for another radio adventure with